All right. Grab your seats. Hold on tight. We're bringing this thing home. Okay? So we got two more speakers. We have a slight change in plans today. We're just going to do two more speakers. It'll be me and then Megan. So I'm going to talk about creating goals that win. And then Megan is going to really walk us through some strategic planning. So I feel like this last portion of this workshop is going to give you some tools now to really move forward in 2015 and have something to really work on, work toward. So buckle your seatbelts. It's going to be a wild ride. Okay. So my name is Matt Fridg. I'm one of the pastors here at Living Hope Church. Before I was a pastor here, I ran a video production arm of a media company in Pittsburgh. And we did websites, we did graphics, we did video, obviously. We did a lot of distribution for television. So if you've ever watched like a lot of the television shows that get replayed on like TBS or TNT that are like second run, you know, like they're not, my company probably re-edited those, put new commercials in and sent them out. So we were one of the largest companies to do that outside of New York or LA. So I was in charge of the video production wing. And really that meant that I worked with a lot of ad agencies and creative directors and CEOs and would sit in meetings with a CEO of UPMC or Children's Hospital or some of these places and listen to what they wanted to do. And then we would take what they wanted to do, what they wanted to communicate, and translate it into a plan. And then we would make that plan into a video, and then we would deliver that video and hopefully deliver the results that they talked to us about in the original meeting. And so that's what I used to do. And I was behind the camera. I would then find all the people that needed to do the lighting, the sound, and then I would find where we're going to film it, and then how many shots are we going to shoot, and then where are we going to shoot it from, what camera are we going to shoot it on. So a lot of details, a lot of planning went into it. And now I'm not going to say like I was the planner of Pittsburgh by any means, and I have so much to learn. That's why I'm actually really looking forward to Megan's session. But I feel like what I can do is maybe give us a little bump set and let Megan come in and really spike it so that we can have some really great plans going into this year. See, I want to talk about creating goals that win. And goals, anybody can create a goal. But not everybody can win with their goal because there are a lot of really bad goals. I once had a goal to refinish an electric guitar. I thought it would be so cool, I don't know anything about electric guitars, but I just thought it would be so cool. So I was at a garage sale and I bought this old electric guitar and I started sanding it and I got the lacquer out. I was like, I don't want color. I want this to be like a natural finish. And I was going to put these chrome, humbucker pickups in there, and it was going to be fantastic. And so I sanded it and I lacquered it, and it's in the same place right now that it was 10 years ago. I just never went through with it. It just died. And how many of our goals, how many of our plans, we conceive these great ideas and we get excited, we get passionate about them, and then a year, 2 years later, we remember, oh wait, yeah, I never really did that. I was really excited about that back then, but whatever happened to that? Do you ever have that question? Whatever happened to that? Has your wife ever asked you that question? Whatever happened to that? Remember that thing you wanted to do? Yeah. Remember you wanted to build that new addition on the back? Whatever happened to that? I see all the bricks outside. So I want to talk about how we can construct a goal that will get us closer to actually completing it. And see, Jesus, he was all about this as well. If we look at Luke 14, he says, "But don't begin until you count the cost. For who would begin construction of a building without first calculating the cost to see if there's enough money to finish it? Otherwise, you might complete only the foundation before running out of money, and then everyone would laugh at you, or everyone would say, 'What about that blank?'" Right? They would say, "There's that person who started that building and couldn't afford to finish it." Like, all of you could say that to me. There was that guy who had that great idea of finishing that guitar, but he never finished it, right? And you even laughed at me when I told you about it, didn't you? So Jesus is right here. He's saying you need to calculate out. Like, remember back at the beginning I said that strategic planning is looking at the end and working backwards. That's what Jesus is talking about here. He's saying if you're going to build something, if you're going to spend a lot of money, in this case, he's using this example, if you're going to really make a difference, then you need to go all the way out to the end, see what it really looks like, and work your way back. And that's what writing good goals is about. So what I want you to do right now is you have a worksheet in your folder. I want you to take 1 minute, think of a goal you have. This doesn't have to be the goal of your life, okay? This doesn't have to be a major goal. This is an exercise for today, okay? So just pick something. I want to have a garden, okay? I want to, I don't know, I can't think of a ton of them. That's your job. Think about that and write down a goal. Don't try to be all cute and then get ahead of me. Just write your goal down. Real simple. I'll give you 10 more seconds. If you think of it a little bit later, feel free to write it down then too. So you have your goal right at the beginning. My goal, because I'm going to go along and I'm going to construct a goal right along with you. My goal is I want to start a business. Okay, this has been on my heart for a long time, and I feel like it's in me, and I feel like God's birthed something in me. So I want to start a business. Okay, so you have a goal on your page. It's a great goal. It's probably something God's put on your heart, something that you really want to see happen. Okay, but the chances of me winning with this goal are pretty slim, because this is really broad. This could go anywhere. Chances are this goal right here will be in the same place my electric guitar is right now. So how do we win with goals? And we're going to talk about making SMART goals. You've probably heard this before. If you know anything about goals or done any research, you might understand this acronym. SMART being specific, measurable, attainable, results-focused, and time-bound. So we're going to look at each one of these things, and then we're going to construct our goal using these pieces. So specific. We want to make a specific goal. This is a very broad goal, okay? What kind of business? Is it a flower business? Is it a window washing business? Who knows? You wouldn't know. I might know. It's in my head, but it's not out there. So the one way to really hone in on our goal is to ask 3 questions. What, how, and why? What do you want to accomplish? Okay? How are you going to do it? What are the specifics that are going to be involved, and why are you making this goal? So in this step, it's important to be specific and to start really drilling down into some of the details, but don't get lost in being concrete, okay? Let this be an organic process. I love organic processes. I don't do well with concrete, okay? I poured concrete and well, actually Tom Mateo did, but the idea that in 5 minutes it was going to set up, and if I make a mistake, I can't fix it. I don't like that concept. I like things to be fluid. So that's just my personality. So, but you know, we need that. We're going to get to that, okay? But right now, just answer a couple of those questions, okay? You can adjust this a little bit later. So I'm an analysis paralysis victim a lot, and I have to get myself out of that. So what? I'm gonna go through my goal. I'm gonna answer these questions with you, along with you, and give you an example. So what do I want to do? So my what is specifically, I want to sell information and coaching when it comes to video production. I have a lot of years in video production. I've seen a lot, and there's a lot in here, and there's a lot in here, and I want to get it out. Okay, so we're getting somewhere. Okay, so what is your what? Okay, you have a goal. What is it that you really want to do? The next question would be how. Okay, that's a great idea. So am I going to go door to door? Am I going to go through Whitney and just like knock on the door and be like, hey, I would like to sell you some coaching on video production? And then like some 75-year-old lady is like, no, thank you. I don't need that. Boom. Okay, how am I going to do this? I want to do it in a way that I think is going to match some of my skills, match some of the resources I have around me. So for me, I want to do it through an online course. Okay, so I want to sell what God has put in my brain and the experience through an online course. So that's the how, that's the channel, and then why. So are you thinking about your what? What do you really want to do? How do you want to do it? Why? I really believe that God wants to move the gospel forward. And right now, the internet is video. Video is everywhere. Video is like the way to communicate. It is like the internet is only going to increase in how much video is used to communicate. So I want to help churches. Let me have it how I have it written here. Improve their video communication, just like how we've been doing here. You know, you guys all probably watched a video before you got here on what we're going to do to help communicate. And increase financial security. So that's the why. So now we are farther along. We went from I want to start a business to I want to start a business to sell information and coaching about video production through an online course to help churches improve their video communication and increase my own financial security. That's a big difference, wouldn't you say? So I want you to think about that for yourself right now. You wrote down a goal. Do you have your what, your how, and your why? So the second piece would be it has to be measurable. Okay? This went from a good goal to an even better goal. Okay? I don't want to say it's a great goal yet. We're still working on that, okay? But we're closer. But I need to know how do I know that I've done that? How will I know if I've won, okay? In football, how do you know that you win? There's a scoreboard, right? And at the end of the game, whoever has more points at the end of 4 quarters or overtime or whatever wins, unless you tie like the Bengals, and that screwed everything up. Why do they let ties? And they're even going to say that they would let a tie in this wild card game? Unbelievable. They should never let a tie in a wild card. Anyway, but whoever has the most points at the end of the game wins. It doesn't matter how you get those points. It doesn't matter if they're pretty or they're ugly. It doesn't matter if the special teams got all the points or the defense got all the points or Ben Roethlisberger ran every single touchdown in by himself. If you have more points at the end of the game, you win. That's how we know. So we need a measure to tell us. Just like football has a measure, we need a measure. What is your win and how do you define it? So for me, and again, we're talking about being specific, but not concrete, okay? Organic. So you may not have the perfect measure right now. You just need a measure, all right? So measurable. I want to launch 1.0 on April 1st and sell 6 units by end of year 2015. Now, I'm not sure how plausible that is right now. I think it's kind of plausible. I think I'm in the realm of plausibility, but that's why this needs to be organic, because I might need to adjust this as I go. Maybe that will happen in the first month, and then I will need to adjust that. Maybe that won't happen for the first 2 years. But I need to know how I've won the game, because if you're going to create goals that win, you need a scoreboard. Okay? So do you have a measure for your own goal? How are you going to know that the goal that you have there is accomplished? So your goal also, not only specific and measurable, it needs to be attainable. Okay? Now, if you don't know anything about video, this would be a terrible goal for you because it's not attainable. Your goal would have to be, I would like to learn about video and gain the experience to get here. So wherever you are, you're at a place where your goal can be attainable. If it's a good goal, it's attainable. Whatever experience you have, whatever knowledge you have, however many books you've read, if it's gardening and you've read 17 books on gardening already and you know all 7 theories on gardening and you really have weighed them and now you're, you know what you want to do, or you have a skill that God has just naturally developed in you, or you play the piano really well, or you play the harp really well, or the violin, or whatever it is that God has put inside of you, there's gifts and abilities in there that help you make your goal attainable. Okay? So is your talent, your time, and your treasure able to make this goal a reality? Or do you have to get to this goal, would you have to use your talent, time, and treasure in a different way? So that question there, is there a better way to achieve your goal? So you're doing a little bit of evaluation of the goal itself here. You know, how many of you would like to get 2 years into your goal and realize, well, this goal is stupid. I can't do this. I think maybe that's probably why my electric guitar failed, is because I realized I don't know anything about electric guitars. This is not an attainable goal for me. But the other question is there a better way to achieve your target than what you're willing to do? You know, there's that issue of sacrifice. Are you willing to put in the time and the effort and the elbow grease to make this goal a reality? If not, it's not attainable. And we have to adjust. But if you're willing to overcome the hurdles to make it a reality, then it's attainable. So for me, I have to record 6 training sessions. See, I can do that. That's not out of my time, talent, or treasure. But for you, you might not be able to do that, so that would not be attainable. So to get this course, I have to record 6 sessions so that I actually have something to sell. And depending on your theory, I guess you can sell it before you record it, but anyway. So is your goal attainable? Do you have the ability to do it? And do you have the desire to overcome what it might take? Results, focused is the next one. Some people say relevant or realistic. I hate the word realistic. Every time I say the word realistic, I feel like I'm settling for something. I just don't like the word realistic. I like results focused. Your goal needs to focus on results. See, resolutions focus on activities. I want to exercise more. I want to go to the gym. I want to do this or do that, okay? Most resolutions don't have results at the end. So what is the result? If you do this and you're successful at it, what is the result? Okay? For me, it means more churches equipped to spread the gospel means more financial freedom for me and my family to be able to obey God. Like Casey was talking about earlier, needs to take a month off and go on a mission trip. Take 3 months off and go on a mission trip. Be able to not be bound by the financial issues of life and be freer to follow God. So some results that I want to see. Do you have any results that you want to see? See, we're looking at the end right now. We're looking way down the line at what we want, what do we see down there, and we're backing the truck up. I'm giving you guys some time to write. I'm not just and think. I'm hoping that you're processing a little bit, you know. So if I'm not blazing through these, that's why. Hopefully you're reflecting. And to accomplish anything, really, in my opinion, It must be time bound, okay? Nothing motivates to action like a deadline, and nothing motivates to action without a deadline. I made that up, so you can tweet that. For me, without a deadline, it might as well not exist, okay? We had a front room in my house. I've been living in my house for a year. We moved, we renovated it, moved in, had this great plan. We enacted the plan. We had a date. I knew exactly what we were going to do. I knew what rooms we were going to finish, and we got in the house. And the one room we didn't finish was this front room. It's like an enclosed porch. And once we moved in, I had this great idea. I'm going to finish that front room. And it just didn't happen. And it never happened. And I would have this great idea. I had this great plan for my whole house. Except this tiny front room is winning. And I'm not winning against it. And then Jenny said, I would really love to put the Christmas tree in that front room. Boom. Finished that front room by the time the Christmas tree goes up. Well, I knew the Christmas tree couldn't go up on Christmas Day, okay? That doesn't work. You gotta enjoy it for a couple of weeks, right? And then if you wait too long, then there are none left. You're stuck with the Charlie Brown tree with no needles on it. So, 3 weeks before Christmas, I have to have this room done. And guess what happened? As soon as I put that date on it, that room got done. And we put our Christmas tree up there, and Christmas was wonderful. But maybe you're different, but I need a date attached to almost everything. And I find that the things that I let go, like my back room now, are the things that don't have a date attached to it, okay? So we have to make our goals time-bound. If you're wondering why you've never been able to accomplish what you've wanted to accomplish, and you look back and you say, well, I've never put a date on it, and let me just add this is just a little extra, and tell somebody about the date, okay? These things are all good. This is really dangerous for me because I'm putting this all out there for you right now. And there's accountability, right? If you guys all ask me in 6 months, well, what happened to that video business, Pastor Matt? What video business? When you tell somebody about your goal, you get that accountability. But when it's time-bound, now you have that extra layer of accountability because there's a due date. And if you don't do it by that date, then now you know, and hopefully somebody else knows that you've failed. So deadlines are the magic potion of goals for me. So let's stick a date on there, okay? It doesn't mean that as you process this goal and you talk through, maybe get some counsel on it, that these things don't change. Like, look, I'm going to probably talk this over with Casey and Nathan, and they're probably going to tell me, like, oh, you should adjust this and change that, and you could do that. And so it's going to be organic. But I got to throw something out there, right? So I put it up here already, but, April 1st, I know that I'm going to speak at a worship leaders gathering in Lancaster on March 21st, and I want to be able to tell them that on April 1st, they can start signing up. So that's my date. And I'm hoping. So what's your date? Do you have a date? Okay. Get it out there. Write it in the annals of history, in a journal. Tell your wife or your husband about it. Do you have a business accountability partner? Like Ed, when we have life group, usually at the end of life group, we talk business things and life things, and we throw those things out there so that we can hold each other accountable. So put a date on there. So at the beginning, I want to start a business. Lofty, wonderful goal. And at the end, it's a little bit different now. So what started as I want to start a business is now To help people improve their church video ministry and provide additional financial resources for me, I will start a business selling information coaching about video production through an online course. By the launch date of April 1st, I'll record all 6 video training sessions, build the back end, and promote through internet marketing, planning to sell 6 units by the end of 2015. This will allow Jenny and me to have more financial freedom from financial restrictions for family, ministry, and fun, while allowing me to use the creative gifts and talents that God has given me to see the kingdom expand. Big difference, right? Big difference. Now that's a goal that I can sink my teeth into. What about you? Hopefully, what you've been able to process in these last 25 minutes is a way to construct a goal that will actually be able to stick, that you'll actually be able to win with, okay? And Megan's going to come up and she's going to talk about strategic planning, which is, yeah, I'm just going to let her do it, but I'm not going to try to explain it. It's going to be fantastic. So thank you very much.